Hi. Yes, we're working on the car finally. So, back in April, we primed the engine bay. We have to wet sand this before we bring it to paint. We pretty much sanded the entire interior, the cage, the firewall, everything in here is sanded. We're pretty much just gonna do a couple more things. There's some things we want to modify in here while we're in here. I mean, the first thing is we got a lot of we gotta grind off this cage. Some of the welds on this cage are not great. We want to cut this panel out because it's just ugly. This panel used to go down to the floor here, and I chopped it at one point because of the cage. The cage had to go through it, so I had to chop it, and then I left some of it because the interior was in the car. And then now the plan is to have no interior in the back of the car, so we are just trying to make everything look nicer before we paint it. So my plan, I'm going to ask Frankie before we jump into this, but my plan is to cut this somewhere around here, get rid of everything below there, and then kind of just smooth this out and keep this panel, because we do want to keep this panel for structural reasons. It looks like it's bracing a lot. It might actually not be, but to me it looks like it's doing something. And the speaker deck, I think, bolts onto this. So we want to keep this piece so we can get the speakers in there. What are you doing, Frankie?
Right now I'm building a frame for the dollies over here that we're gonna put, so then that way we can put the car in the trailer and get it to paint.
Yeah, that's
and just get it pretty much mobile without being on the, pretty much being on the rotisserie. So that way we can push it around however easily we need to. And yeah, just getting it ready pretty much so then we can send it out.
Yeah, so basically, like you said, the plan is we're trying to paint the inside of the engine bay and the interior of the car at the same time. We don't paint here, so we have to bring it to our buddy Ed. And I'm trying to make this as easy as possible. So, and I also am not putting a subframe back in the car, because if we put the subframe in the car and we put wheels on the car, then we got strut towers up here, we got bolts sitting here, we got subframe bits that are covering
the bolts that go through.
Yeah, the
pretty
studs.
much. You want to be able to make sure that you cover all that with paint, don't have any obstructions or anything like that. That way you get it done right the first time.
Yeah, exactly. So, and we should have this anyway. So we're gonna build a jig, basically.
Pretty much.
Basically building, like you said, a dolly. We're gonna put casters on it. We measured the width of the trailer, so we're gonna make it just the right size so we can just roll this thing on the trailer as is, and then roll it right into the paint booth, spray it, and then put it back on the trailer, bring it here, drop the dolly, and just start reassembly. So it's kind of cool. I'm actually really excited about that part because I kind of wanted that for a long time.
Yeah, it should be cool. And then that way you can utilize it with different chassis if we do other restoration projects, things of that sort. I know
you
that
could just grind the mounts off.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah, so.
Well, I planned on telescoping this, so depending on whatever width of a chassis, you could possibly end up utilizing it for a different one as well.
Okay, yeah. So he's basically gonna put a smaller tube inside of here so that we can change the width of it depending on what we have to do. Because we were gonna make this thing way tiny, and then we went to the trailer and I was like...
Yeah, you actually have to make up for the missing section, because it's
an open trailer.
Open deck trailer.
Yeah, so we had to make it way wider, but I don't know, this is just way nicer than putting a subframe in, because that's what we usually do when we bring a car to paint. We'll put the subframe in, we'll put the struts in, everything's on, and then we're trying to steer it, and each wheel is separate from the other. It's a nightmare. And then you get it in there and you kind of have to disassemble it. And when you bring your car to get painted, the person painting it just wants to paint it. He doesn't want to take apart, work on it.
It's always extra.
Yeah, it's like crazy. And I know how Ed is. He doesn't want to do any of that. So I'm trying to make this as smooth as possible. We'll roll it in. We'll have everything taped to the best of our ability. We'll have everything prep sawed, like everything I can do. And if he wants to prep it more, it's on him, which he probably will, because we're not body guys. But
no.
We're trying, so.
Trying to bring it to Body Town, but
yeah. You could bring it to Body Town too.
You could do that.
Yeah, I know Carl wants to paint this, so, but Ed's been painting for us for our stuff for a while, so I'm probably gonna bring this car there, but we'll see. I don't know. We got to. Carl wants me to just spray this right here, but my landlord will have an aneurysm if I do that. So, as far as underneath the car, we went with two different methods here, and I can already see the comments now, like people going crazy. paint. The one thing I can say about painting that I've learned over the last 5 years is everyone has their own method, and almost none of them are wrong. So
you're always wrong no matter what.
Yeah, or you're always wrong. Yeah. So, but there's so many different methods. I tend to stick more towards our buddy Jimmy Oakes. I tend to lean more towards the stuff he does just because it makes more sense for drift cars. Some of the stuff he does is quicker. Some of the stuff he does takes longer. But you know, this is a good example. We're doing a mixture of both. We're epoxy primering the engine bay and the inside of the car because those are the things you are going to see. And underneath, we decided to just self-etch bare metal, scuff everything else up, and then we're going to pretty much Raptor line the front end of the car for now. At a later time, we're going to Raptor line the whole rear, but that's going to be after the car's running and driving for at least a year. We'll come back and we'll seal up the rear quarters properly, which they were not, and do the whole rear end. Because if we do that now, we're going to be here for way too long, and we're just trying to drift this car because it's been too long. So, what else are we doing? Well, you're doing some welding inside, up here, the cage. Honestly, we're at a pretty good spot. There's not too much left. That's why we're filming this video, because we do this after work. Frankie comes here after his full-time job. I stay here late. We work on the car. It's mostly been sanding.
And we got to move kind of because all this stuff is going to flash rust if it's just open metal.
Yeah, so now we're kind of at a point where we gotta
start
kind of hurry
chooching.
up. Yeah, so
for sure.
I figured let's get Eddie in here. Let's film some of this stuff before this whole entire part is done and over with. So yeah, that's pretty much it, I guess. Is there anything else we want to talk about? I'm sure you want to talk about that patch job you did, right?
I don't. That's terrible.
Yeah.
There's so much material in there.
There's very few things on this car that we're not happy with, but there are a couple of them, and luckily they cannot be seen. So there's just so many areas where like panels overlap panels, and there's rust underneath, and when you're trying to, you know, I mean, you could explain it better, but you're just trying to, you know, you're kind of chasing your tail, right?
There's different panels on top of each other, and there's old material or old rust or dirt trapped in there. There's seam sealer. There's all this stuff that you can't see. And then once you start actually welding on it, all that stuff goes into the weld. So it creates chaos. Really. Yeah. So you're better off realistically cutting the panel out and making a new one. But we're not going to that length because it's part of the firewall. We're not really going to see it. We want to get this car done as quick as possible. Yeah. Done right, but.
Yeah. A lot of people keep saying this is a restoration, and me and Frankie are like, this is not a restoration. No. Yeah, but this is.
If it was, we would have like probably acid dipped this thing.
Yeah, yeah. We would have had to cut way more stuff out, but at the same time, we're kind of perfectionists, and we're not gonna. If something's rusted and we're gonna paint it, it's gonna have to get cut out.
Yeah.
But there's stuff on this car that we're not even touching that's gonna have to get touched at a later date. So. And yeah, just certain things like he mentioned, there's a section on the firewall that we're probably not going to show you up close because we were not happy with it. That we're just going to leave because I might put some kind of dynamat up there. Like I don't even know.
Yeah, exactly.
Like I don't know what's going to happen. So it's really pointless to go that far on a drift car when you might not even see the actual firewall itself. If this was a restoration, you don't have any. There's no options. It needs to be if you're going to call something a restoration, it needs to be like it came out of the factory, in my opinion.
Or better.
Or better, yeah.
Always.
So I would not call this a restoration, but I would call this going definitely over the top to kind of just clean up my drift car and make it better.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that's been covered in other videos. We did a lot of stitch welding. Frankie's not the only fabricator that was working on this. Ethan, our buddy Ethan, was working on this for probably like 3 years when we were just going in and out. And then Frankie took over because Ethan's been doing other stuff, building houses and everything else. So there's 2 people doing fabrication work on this car now, which is interesting. I mean, you run into things that you see and you're like, oh, I don't even know what was done here before. Kind of like that one that we were talking about.
Different methods. There was like certain things that were touched before. I'm trying to fix them.
Yeah.
Trying to get them as best as I could. But it's just like, might as well cut it out.
And then you run into a piece where you're
start over.
Oh, let me grind this out. Oh, yeah. I wasn't supposed to grind that out.
You weren't supposed to grind it out because it was way too thin to begin with. And like now you're just trying to weld to paper. So it's,
yeah.
You might as well put new material over there.
And that's kind of how it is with 240s. I feel like the metal on a 240.
Oh yeah, it's super thin.
Yeah, and I mean, we've even missed some stuff too. Like I noticed we missed something over here. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, there's like a crack here. We missed this. We already painted it. I'm not fixing that most likely because I'm not doing this epoxy primer again. And there's other on this, like look in here, Eddie. This whole, or on top from this side. This is all dented. We're not fixing this because it's gonna get dented again. We're gonna end up banging the shit out with a hammer if we have to. Like,
Self-clearancing.
Yeah, it's just not worth it. So we are gonna seam seal a lot of this because it's gonna be driven in the rain. It's gonna be driven on the street. I saw something the other day, Jimmy's yellow car when it was here. I was looking at his engine bay. I was like, and he had stitch welded something. I think it was the strut tower, and he had seam seal on it, but you could see it. I was like, what the is that? He's like, it's a self-leveling seam sealer.
Okay,
and it like really sunk in. So I think we're gonna do that on the bottom. Because I would like to kind of see the stitch welds. Like I don't want to completely make them disappear. It's like you do all this work and then you seam seal it and you can't see anything. So, all right, we're gonna jump in, get to work, and maybe we'll check in later. Because we're gonna blast the music like we always do and not, we can't talk while we're doing this or we'll never get anything done.
smallest thing for a bench.
got less of a curve to it. Let's use that. Mock that up. I'll finish cutting that out. Just a reminder, we are giving away products every month over on factionmotorsports.com. Every $5 spent gets you 1 entry, and Faction Motorsports merch and products get you double entries. For our website raffle this month, we are giving away an Origin Labo hood for any vehicle of your choosing. Origin Labo has been the most popular aero company in drifting for years now, supplying drivers worldwide with fenders, over fenders, hoods, full body kits, and much more. From the subtle pole style 30mm over fender all the way to their aggressive Type 4 over fenders, they have a wide range of sizes to make sure you can fit any tire and wheel combo you need. Make sure to check out their aero kits as well. The Driftline kit that dropped last year is quickly becoming one of their most popular styles. And don't worry if you have a newer chassis, Origin released a bunch of products for the ZN6 last year. Not only do they continue to offer support for older vehicles, but they are also looking to the future as well. We are an authorized distributor for Origin Labo, so for more info on their parts or to place an order, check out factionmotorsports.com.